netsuite.com/radar. Head to Radar for this special one-of-a-kind financing offer on the #1 financial system for growing businesses. netsuite.com/radar.
Live from the 100.5 and 790 newsroom, this is WSGW News.
The skies in 31 degrees at 9:05. Good morning, I'm Mike Percha. Saginaw will be looking at costs related to repairs for the Genesee Avenue Bridge, West Holland Avenue, and East Remington Street. City Council will be voting on resolution contracts with MDOT to repair the bridge and roads totaling a combined $3.2 million. $316,000 of that will be going towards the Genesee Avenue Bridge, with the rest going towards the road work, allowing repairs to West Holland from Woodbridge to Hamilton Streets and East Remington from Water Street to Washington Avenue. That work will include pavement repairs, storm sewer repairs, concrete curb and gutter repairs, sidewalk additions or updates, and more. The newly proposed policy is looking to help Bay City separate itself from the communities across the Great Lakes Bay region that are or have been facing conflicts of ARPA funds. Here's Rick Antonio.
City Commission President Chris Gerard says the policy he proposed at the February 7th meeting will allow commissioners to better recuse themselves from votes on allocation proposals or allocating funds to groups they may have vested interests in. The proposal was tabled after its presentation for a fine-tuning of language and should be ready for a final vote at tonight's commissioner meeting. While the city already has a conflict of interest prevention policy, Gerard says the additional specification will help keep millions of dollars of ARPA money in the right hands so it can go where the community needs it the most. Rick Antonio, News Radio 100.5 and 790.
State police are investigating a deadly fire in Saginaw County's Maple Grove town, which reported the fire just after 3:30 on Sunday morning. Crews responded to the scene in the 1500 block of Lincoln Road. Investigators say the home was occupied at the time of the fire. State police say the victim, a 71-year-old man, was located in the debris once the fire was put out. The incident remains under investigation. Witnesses are asked to contact the State Police Tri-City Post. WSGW News Time 9:07.
We've all seen how unpredictable life can be, but here's one thing you can count on. The Covenant Center for the Heart is here for you. More people in the Great Lakes Bay region trust their hearts to Covenant Healthcare than any other. Why? Because we have the most comprehensive cardiac care in the region. From diagnosis in our chest pain center to the region's first structural heart disease program, to our cardiac rehabilitation and wellness center. And because we keep our patients safe, Covenant has been awarded an A rating for patient safety from the Leapfrog Group 7 times running. So if you have an existing heart condition, call your cardiologist. If you experience symptoms like chest pain or shortness of breath, call 911 or come to the Covenant Emergency Care Center. Don't delay care. Life and hearts can be unpredictable. To Covenant Healthcare, the leader for extraordinary care.
WSGW News Time 9:08. The weather forecast is next. Detroit police are investigating a triple homicide on the city's west side where 2 adults and a child were found shot to death. Police responded to a home around 5 o'clock Sunday afternoon following a 911 call from a family member who had not seen or heard from one of the victims. Police say a man and a woman, along with a young child, were found gunned down. The victims have not been identified at this time. It's America Saves Week. Here's Brooke Allen with this report.
Heidi Kassab, president and CEO of Cornerstone Community Financial, says the pandemic brought the lack of emergency funds and savings accounts to the forefront, and now there are new issues consumers are dealing with.
It's tough for everyone, especially where we're at right now with inflation and just everything seems like it costs a little more than it used to.
Kassab says with interest, now is the time to refinance your house or even your car, but don't stop there. Put that money you save from the reduced payments in your emergency or savings account. I'm Brooke Allen for the Michigan News Network.
4 million income tax refunds have now been delivered. That's put about $10 billion into consumer hands. But over the past decade, the IRS budget has been cut by 20%. Staffing is down to the level it was back in the 1970s. So the IRS says the best thing to do to avoid hassles is to file electronically and do it as soon as possible. That's how many people were able to get their refunds already by filing electronically and having the refund automatically deposited in their accounts. Yahoo Finance advises taxpayers to pay extra attention if they received economic impact payments or an advanced child tax credit last year. The IRS sent out more than 150 million information letters on those to help make sure the information is reported accurately. W910, I'm Mike Percha.
Here's your WSGW weatherology forecast. The winter weather advisory is in effect from tonight.
Hey, Art, how are you, brother?
Hey. For today, we'll see cloudy skies with a high of 37 degrees. Going into tonight, we'll see freezing rain with cloudy skies and a low around 30. And going into Tuesday, we'll see rain showers with cloudy skies and a high of 40. Going into Wednesday, it'll be partly sunny with a high of 24 degrees. And Thursday, we'll start to see isolated snow showers in the afternoon. Otherwise, it'll be mostly cloudy with a high of 24. Friday, lingering snowfall in the morning. Otherwise, it'll be cloudy with a high of 25 degrees. I'm staff meteorologist Amanda Edwards with the WSGW weatherology forecast. Currently 30.
Now, the only local radio talk show offering you the chance to ask your questions and express your opinion. To around the world, the Art Lewis Show is on 100.5 and 790 WSGW and online, WSGW.com.
Well, good morning to you and welcome. Welcome to another edition of the Art Lewis Show from my Saginaw Spirit home studio. Our program brought to you today by Linda Shepard at Pinnacle Realty for all of your residential and commercial real estate needs. Put Linda to work for you by giving her a call at 989-295-7713 or stop in and visit Linda at The Point, M46 and M47 in Saginaw Township, where you will also find Cafe 476 and their delicious soups, foods, and all kinds of wonderful beverages. Later on this morning, after the 10 o'clock news, we'll talk to Representative Amos O'Neal. Rocket Grab Plus will be the subject of focus after the 11 o'clock news this morning. But for this hour and a good part of it, we're going to talk to a Ramsey personality. He has written a book called Own Your Past, Change Your Future. And we welcome to the program Dr. John Connolly. Doctor, good morning.
How are you this morning, Art?
Hey, we're doing fine. Doing fine. Say that again.
It's John Delony, Delony. It looks like Delony with a D.
I wanted to hear your accent. Where are you from?
I'm a lifelong Texan here that's been transplanted to Nashville. I'm trying to teach them the ways, but they're not hearing it.
So I can expect that at some time in the future, all of Dave Ramsey's folks will sound with the Texas drawl. Is that the?
I think Dave's. I'll be speaking East Tennessee hillbilly here in the not too distant future. That's what's going to happen.
How long have you been with the Ramsey Solutions organization?
A little over 2 years. Loving them.
What got you there?
I was moved to Nashville. My family and I moved up here to Nashville to work at a university, and I was given a talk to some parents and students. And Dave's executive vice president was sitting in the audience dropping her daughter off at school, and she said, "I'm going to hire that guy." And that's really that was how I ended up in this crazy world, and I've loved it. It's been remarkable.
Now you do a stream broadcast for them, don't you?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. So the book, Own Your Past, Change Your Future. How'd that come about? Let's start with what it's about, and then tell us.
It's really about. Well, let me back it up, and I'll answer the original question first. I think it'll help. I've spent the last 20 years working in colleges and universities, and both behind closed doors, working with students and their parents and their families as the wheels have fallen off their lives. I was the guy that made the call when somebody lost a child. I was the guy that made the call when somebody's kid was in the psych ward or in the ER, and just dealing with that trauma. And then I've done work behind closed doors with police officers. So there's this practical applied stuff. And then there's also, I spent the last 20 years as a researcher, just as a nerd. And what I realized coming here to Ramsey is that me and my colleagues spend a lot of time talking about theories and talking to one another. But man, this stuff is so complex, and we've made it so incredibly just we've made it bonkers. We've made it hard for people struggling to understand. And so this is a mental health book that everybody can understand. I wrote it for me because even I started getting confused as I was struggling myself. And so this book is about how to own what happened to you in the past. And the most important part is how to then go about tomorrow, changing tomorrow so that your life can be better, your families can be better. And as a country, we can start healing some of this nonsense.
It's an interesting comment because, I mean, you're a guy with not one, but 2 doctorates.
Right.
And, most people would look at you and say, oh, I mean, he's got it made, no problems. But yet you had struggles. So
Brother. Oh, man.
what were your
Yeah.
struggles like?
I mean, I won, right? I had the fancy job and the fancy degree. My granddad worked at Houston Power and Light for, I don't know, 30, 40, 50 years. My wife and I, she was a researcher too. We were making more money than he would have known what to do with. And I had a little boy and I was running and gunning. I was following the path that had been laid out, which was more and faster and never stop and do more and show up more and say yes to everything. And what happened was my body started shutting me down and my will was strong and my discipline was strong, but my body said, hey, that's too much. You're doing too much and you're disconnecting from things that actually matter to you, that we need to be healthy, like eating well and family and community and friends, spirituality, things that were important. I just kept crushing and going and going and crushing. And so I don't care how many degrees you have. And I've, connected to elite military folks and professional athletes. I don't care how much decorum you have and how quote unquote tough you think you are. Your body will shut you down if you don't take care of that. And what I mean by shut you down is anxiety, depression, OCD, ADHD, all these things that we've pathologized are really just signposts to a life that is that's out of balance, a body out of balance.
The part that always seems to come to the forefront when we talk about mental health and mental illness is because of the stigmas that we as a society have attached to it. Right. People don't like to come forward and admit that they have any of those problems. How do you break that cycle? How do you tell them it's time to step forward and own it?
I think that there's one way and one way only. And that's for guys like me who on the outside I got 2 PhDs. I had some fancy jobs. I had some fancy titles, and my wife drives a nice car. I don't, but she does. And there's guys like us that need to come out and say, hey, I'm not okay. And I haven't been okay. And here's the steps back. And when you don't do that, then you've got a generation of young people and older people looking at those who quote unquote have made it and think it's all together. And that if I can just get there, wherever this imaginary there is, then things will be okay. And that narrative of when I get there, whatever that is, and you've probably been there, like whenever I get this show or this many listeners or this many affiliates or this much, it just keeps moving on you. And so you have to be well wherever you happen to be, and that goes with you. And you and I both know people who have quote unquote made it, and all that is a revealing, right? It just, if you're not well with $100, you're not going to be well with $1 million. Just as the way it is.
Yeah, I've been doing this 58 years, and I have tried to not worry about the secondary issues anymore. I can remember the day when I did,
of course,
early on in the career. You get to a point where I am, though, and that's beyond me.
That's right.
It's outside of my control,
Well, and you just touched on your wisdom there, Art. You just touched on 2 critical things. What can I control and what can I not control? And I'm literally going to set down the stuff I can't. You know what I can't control? Whether Russia invades Ukraine today. I can't. And at 6:00 this morning, I was checking my phone to see if they had. And I do this for a living. I know better. But I wanted to see if something happened overnight. And then the second thing is how utterly useless, how utterly a waste of our time and energy and relational energy worry is. It accomplishes nothing. And we live in a society that we think that worry, that rumination is healthy thinking. We're trying to solve something. It's not. It's a waste of time. Going and doing, like you said, getting back to the core issues of relationships and our family and doing good work and then resting. Those things will get us much further than just stewing and stewing and stewing and stewing.
Well, the title of the book, Own Your Past and Change Your Future. Owning your past can be difficult for a lot of people.
Man, that's
Put it behind them. They don't want to think about it.
That's right. That's right. And what we know from the last 25 years of some really remarkable neuroscience and trauma research is, I, I wish it wasn't the case, Art, but if you were abused as a kid, if you were neglected as a kid, if you've had to stand up and defend your mom for an abusive father when you were a kid, your body will continue to solve for those problems your entire life. And there's been some extraordinary research about kids who went through homes that had divorce in it and parents who got in trouble and job loss, those kind of things, live shorter lives, and they're more likely to have strokes and heart attacks. So our bodies are extraordinary things, and they will try to keep us alive, and they keep us alive by running these trauma scenarios over and over and over until we take ownership of them and let our bodies know that we're safe in the present. And we live in this culture where one of two things has been true for the last 20 years, and it's nuts. Either whatever happened to you, the worst thing you've ever said, the worst thing that was ever said to you, that's all you're ever going to be. You're only going to be this stuff. And there's a whole narrative. That means the government needs to come in and swoop in and save you and protect you because these things happen to you, and that's all you'll ever be. The other side of the narrative is you have no feelings, forget your feelings. None of that matters. Just plow ahead and keep grinding. And both of those narratives are false. There's got to be a third one, which is you got to own what happened to you, what you did. You got to own what was done to you. And then you got to say, I want things to be better for me, my family, my children, my community, and ultimately my country. I want all that to be different. So what do I have to do starting tomorrow? It's both and.
It's interesting, though, how different personalities react to different situations.
That's right.
I'm the kind of person, and always have been, that if you tell me I can't do it, get out of my way. There are those who say, look, tell me I can't do it. You've just invited me to do it.
Right.
Others take it to heart and believe it.
Right.
And you really do have to own those situations, don't you?
That's right. So I love the way Dr. Brown says it. She says, the environment loads the gun. I'm sorry. Genetics loads the gun, but environment pulls the trigger. So you and I, we have different genetics. We've got different epigenetic expression. We've got different parents who modeled for us different things. We've got different neighborhoods that we grew up in that had different rules, and you and I have different cultures, and all those things are different. And then it's about what experiences you and I have. And so you and I are going to respond to things differently. That's wonderful. That's why the book is for everybody, because I don't care how you respond. It all ends up in what are these practices that you're doing every day to keep you and your family well.
So you don't think my neighborhood in the Bronx, where I grew up in New York City, is the same as where you grew up in Texas?
I mean, it's very similar, very similar.
John, hang on. We're talking to Ramsey personality, Dr. John Delony, and his book is Own Your Past, Change Your Future. We'll talk more about it when we return after these notes on the Art Lewis Show.
And trust, wealth management, asset protection.
Does this sound important to you?
Succession planning for the family business, elder law, probate.
For most of us, we have better things to do with our lives. But when the time comes, personal or for a business, all of us will be glad we took just a few minutes to get our lives in order.
Reduce or eliminate estate, income, and gift taxes. Avoid probate costs and prevent will contests. Plan for the event of disability.
Who should you see? Who can you trust? Who has decades of experience in providing peace of mind for families and business owners?
My name is Jerry Reif. See me today and get your life in order.
Get some peace of mind. Check out Jerry Reif for yourself. Go lawyer.com. While you're there, subscribe to his free monthly e-newsletter and learn about elder law and estate planning. You can download helpful resources. Remember the website, jerryreiflawyer.com, or call Jerry Reif at 989-790-1461.
I provide legal solutions for a changing world.
Exergen would like you to know about an important study just released by the FDA. It confirms what the medical community has known all along. Non-contact thermometers are not accurate. The study also reports that they fail to meet FDA requirements for accuracy in labeling. We can't afford to tolerate the rampant false temperature readings from non-contact thermometers. Accurate temperature measurements are You need Exergen thermometers because they are accurate and backed by over 100 clinical studies. Be sure, be accurate with Exergen. Learn more at Exergen.com.
I'm Connell McShane. This is the Fox Business Report.
Cerebral, started 2 years ago, has since provided prompt mental health care through telemedicine for hundreds of thousands of people. Kyle Robertson is CEO and co-founder.
Providing that in a virtual format where one can just block out the time that they need and not block out that additional travel time, and navigating that aspect of it makes a big difference.
Cerebral now has nearly 3,000 therapists and psychiatrists.
Clinicians are largely finding Cerebral through referrals. Our clinicians are incredibly high quality and they're referring other clinicians.
Major medical plans, including Medicare, are now accepting Cerebral. And after an initial misstep on advertising, it's now clearing ads with its medical team. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Ginny Cosola, invested in you.
Inflation just broke a nearly 40-year record thanks to Biden's out-of-control spending, and every second you are losing more of your hard-earned savings. With a gold IRA from Birch Gold, you can protect your retirement from this outright theft. Hi, this is Stephen K. Bannon, and I'm one of the Birch Gold's many happy customers. To learn how to set up your own gold IRA, text the word SHELTER to 989898. Do it now, today. Text SHELTER to 989898.
What's done more to improve overall health and wellness, modern medicine or personal hygiene? Actually, it's both. But considering that bathing went mainstream in the 1800s and brushing your teeth in the 1900s, isn't it time for something new, like cleaning your nose? This is the body's air filter for trapping dirt and germs, the first line of defense against allergens, bacteria, and viruses from getting into your lungs. But how do you clean your nose? With Navage. Navage isn't medicine, it's more like plumbing. Navage uses powered suction to pull saline in one nostril to the very back of the nose where germs can get trapped and multiply, and then out the other nostril, flushing out mucus and microbes so you can breathe better, sleep deeper, snore healthier. Join over 2 million others and find out for yourself how refreshing and easy to use Navage is. At Navage.com, Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, Bed Bath, and Target. Navage. Clean nose, healthy life.
The WSGW Morning Team Show.
Art Lewis, did you do any pay-per-view event this weekend?
No.
Oh, then you didn't do this. Okay. Dave, Pat, you didn't?
Never.
Okay.
No.
So you weren't paying to see the first ever PFC event.
PFC event.
The Pillow For the first time ever, Steve Williams, who is the man that had a dream of turning childhood horseplay into a professional combat sport. I kid you not. There was both women's divisions and men's divisions.
Well, it's a real workout, that's for sure.
Yeah.
That is. No, it is. I remember having pillow fights in gym class. I bet you can't even do pillow fights in grade school anymore.
Can't do dodgeball. Can you do
Yeah,
pillow fights?
probably not.
Again, probably got lost with the football coverage.
Yeah. I was watching paint dry.
You better watch out. Some pillow fighter's going to come up and teach you a lesson.
Where I'm from, if we had pillows, the pillows.
You New Yorkers.
The Morning Team, weekdays 5:30 to 9 on WSGW.
On the next Mark Lee Van Camp and Robin show.
I cannot believe the media is not covering this story.
What story?
Tune in to find out.
Gosh dang it!
Markley, Van Camp, and Robbins. Weekdays at noon on 100.5 and 790. News Radio WSGW.
And we're back with you here on the Art Lewis Show for this President's Day Monday morning, talking to Dr. John Delony. He has written the book, Own Your Past, Change Your Future. And he is one of the Ramsey personalities that you hear on Dave Ramsey's show in the evenings here on WSGW. In this world we live in today, John, when did you write your book? Let me start with that.
Oh, I was making edits up to just a few weeks ago. So,
so it's a new book.
It's brand new. Yes, sir.
The reason I asked that question is, would the thrust of the book been any different pre-pandemic than post-pandemic? And as a second question, would it been any different pre-social media versus post-social media?
Oh, great questions. So in 2019, before I came and joined this group, A study came out in the Journal of American Medical Association, and I thought this was going to be the study that woke America up. For the third year in a row in 2019, the average American life expectancy went down for the third year in a row. And this is, again, pre-pandemic. And I thought it was going to be murders and arson, who knows? And what they said was the three drivers were suicide, addiction, and organ disease failure, like liver disease, heart disease. And I heard one researcher frame it this way: diseases of despair or long tail suicide, meaning people aren't pulling a trigger. They're just going home and Netflixing and drinking beering themselves to death. They're lonelying themselves to death. And so this is pre-pandemic. And it's only, I thought this would be a galvanizing moment for us where we look at all the trillions of dollars we pump into healthcare and trying to keep each other in better health and supporting. And we could say, hey, we can rally around this. This data is going in the wrong way. And we've just seen what's happened over the last few years. So yeah, this book is 10 years in the making. Before social media, I was a part of a think tank team at one of the universities in Texas that I worked for. And right as everyone was handing out students, I worked at a university, was the first one to hand all students, iPhones and iPads. And it was this new mobile learning initiative. We were going to change the world. And behind closed doors, we were meeting with folks from Apple and Google, some of the big tech companies. And I tell you what, man, it was apocalyptic. It was scary to watch. Oh, no. And so, yeah, 10 years ago, 15 years ago, we saw where this was coming. And it's been, social media has just been an accelerant because it allows people to allows people to act in non-social ways we would never act in person, and to throw grenades that we just simply don't throw because of our social connections in person. So, yeah, this book would have been written before then. And then we've just dumped gasoline on that fire in the last decade.
It's interesting. Social media, I've weaned myself off of most of it, even though I have to do some. But I reached a point where it was depressing. Right. It was depressing because, it was one negative after another negative after another negative. And I can't live that way.
Right.
Can't live that way. Where does one begin to assess their mental health?
Oh, it's a great question. Often I'll put it this way. I was in Medford, Oregon this weekend, talking to a group of folks who run gas stations. And these are some of the hardest working, great human beings I've ever been around. Incredible. And I've spent the last 20 years working with academics, and my research was on the mental health of lawyers and doctors and preachers, those in our communities who quote unquote have made it. And then working with Dave, I've gotten to sit down with some folks who have made it at a financial level that I could never wrap my head around. Right. My dad was a cop, and I'm just a poor kid from Houston. So that we're talking economics that I can't wrap my head around. Right.
Yeah. Me either. My dad was a federal agent. So
there you go. So if I was to distill the challenge across all of those groups, is most people cannot answer the question, what do I actually want? What do I want? Most of us just jumped on whatever train. We did what our dads did. We did what our moms did. We just did what our one coach said we should probably do, or what that math teacher said we can't do. And we just got on the train and just kept going. And if our community said you go to the mill, we went to the mill. And if our community said you go to college, we went to college. And we just went down that track. And suddenly we've looked up and we're 30 or 40 or 60 or 70. And none of us stopped to ask the question, what do I actually want? And if you can ask yourself that question, it's generally really revealing, because then you look at your life that you're living and it's not congruent with that question. When I asked myself that question a decade ago, when I wasn't okay, and again, let's be clear. When I said I'm not okay, I wasn't institutionalized. I was still leading a big team. I was still a dad and a husband that was present. I was still driving to work every day, but I was popping awake at 3:00 every morning. I couldn't sleep. I was a tuning fork. I was like being married to a taser, right? My friends were like, let's just don't call Delony because he's a lot right now. And I was always angry at everybody. So when I say I'm not okay, I was still making my paycheck, but man, I was just throttling, right? Like a car that hasn't had the tires rotated in 5 or 6 years. And so it's being owning those stories, but then acknowledging your reality, my brother. It's you got to look in the mirror and say, is this the life that I want to be living? Am I present with my kids? Am I present with my spouse? Am I serving people in my community? Do I laugh? Do I hang out with my buddies? Like, Cheers, man. How prophetic a show was that? That here we look up 15 years later, nobody just hangs out with a group of people on a regular anymore. We all go to social media and watch Netflix, right? And we've just isolated ourselves. So I think a great place to start is asking yourself the hard question in the mirror, what do I actually want? And then taking a look at your home. Mental health is often a reflection of our body trying to process the gap between what we actually want and what we need.
Let me ask about today's situation.
Okay.
Since the pandemic, and I'll use myself as an example. I've been working at home.
Yes.
This is my home studio, and it doesn't appear that there's going to be much of a change in the future. It's working. But along with that, it's 24/7 with my wife. Yeah, I knew you were going to laugh. She's probably not laughing. But I really think, in a way, it's worked better than I anticipated it would,
right.
Mostly because of her tolerance. But the world has changed, isn't it? I mean, for a lot of people, what was true 2 years ago is not true anymore today.
That's right. So I would liken it to the 1960s, 1970s, and then when I was a little kid in the 80s, TV dinners came out. And man, they were incredible. And my mom got on the train and she would throw them in the oven and we would sit down and all eat these little prepackaged things. And then in short order, we all started dying, right? Or backing it up further, my granddad, he passed away a few years ago at 94s. But when their stories were when he was a child, that the prevailing wisdom was, hey, give these kids cigarettes because it calms them down and it acts right. So and here's the thing, it worked. It calmed them down. TV dinners helped my parents be a little more connected with me at home. And we also realized it kills us. And so I like to think of this. If we woke up 10,000 years ago on the plains of Nebraska and our tribe had left us, our bodies would know we're probably going to die. We got to have other people. Yeah. And so while this is successful at home, we have to do the hard work of being around other people.
I just got a note that I've held you over because you had another commitment.
Hey, I'll talk to you all day, man. You're way more handsome than where I'm headed. So
thanks. So in closing, tell us about what you do with Ramsey Solutions and about your program.
Well, Dave's been telling folks for 30 years that money is just a symptom of your overall marriage and your overall work life and your overall life. And he says, I've referred so many people out to mental health professionals over the years. I finally decided I'd just go get my own. So I walk alongside Dave and all the listeners on the Ramsey Show and on my own show, the Dr. John Delony Show, just walking through people through the messiness of life, whether it's mental health or relationship or marriage or parenting, whatever that happens to be. And I'm loving every second of it. It's a new career for me, and I love it.
And the book, Own Your Past, Change Your Future, I'll bet if we went to Ramsey's website, we'd find it.
Yes, at RamseySolutions.com or JohnDeloney.com, and it's in pre-sale right now, and it comes with all kinds of wild goodies if you want to get in there and order it for $20 today.
John, I would love to do this again with you.
Any day. You and I are best friends now.
I hope so.
A Houston kid and a Bronx kid, man. We're making the world a better place.
There we go. Thanks for being with us this morning. We appreciate it.
Thank you, my brother.
Sorry for keeping you late, too.
Oh, you're good.
Take care. Bye-bye now.
You bet.
Dr. John Delony. And again, the book is Own Your Past, Change Your Future. One of the Ramsey personalities that you hear here on WSGW. And we thank him for joining us today. We'll take a pause and come back. We'll have open phones for the remainder of the hour. Let me tell you about my friends at the Thalen Auto Group. I've been associated with them now for something like 16 years. You've heard me touting all of their new car lineups because they carry Audi, Volkswagen, Subaru, Mazda, Honda, Kia, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram. But rather than new ones, we're going to talk about pre-owned vehicles right now because every time Thalen sells one of the new ones, most of the time, they take in a pre-owned vehicle. And that makes for a huge selection on their lots in Bay City, which are all side by side right there on North Euclid Avenue. Hundreds of vehicles to choose from, probably more selection than any location in the Tri-Cities. And you can shop certified pre-owned vehicles from all of their marks too. You don't have to spend days and days going around from dealer to dealer to dealer to find that right vehicle you're looking for. Just stop into the Thalen Auto Group on North Euclid Avenue in Bay City, or visit them online at thinkthalen.com. Take a look at their inspected and brought up to their standards pre-owned vehicles. You'll be glad you did. The Thalen family, serving your automotive needs for 45 years.
What's the most important part of a retirement plan?
Income is king because we have income. And if you don't have an income plan, you don't have a retirement plan.
That's Kevin Ray, financial coach at Insight Folios. Kevin tells his listeners every week about the importance of income planning, minimizing taxes, and strategies to lead a worry-free retirement. Learn all about that and get your own complimentary financial review by calling 888-885-PLAN. That's 888-885-7526.
Rob tried to manage his constipation with belly pain, discomfort, and bloating day after day. After realizing it was irritable bowel syndrome with constipation, or IBS-C, he found another way and finally said yes to adding Linzess.
Linzess, or linaclotide, is a prescription medicine that treats IBS-C in adults. Linzess works different. It lets you have more frequent and complete bowel movements and helps relieve overall abdominal symptoms, belly pain, discomfort, and bloating. These symptoms were studied in combination, not individually. Do not give Linzess to children less than 2 years old. It may harm them. Do not take Linzess if you have a bowel blockage. Get immediate help if you develop unusual or severe stomach pain, especially with bloody or black stools. The most common side effect is diarrhea, sometimes severe. If it's severe, stop taking Linzess and call your doctor right away. Other side effects include gas, stomach area pain, and swelling. There could be more to your story with IBS-C. Talk to a doctor today. Say yes to Linzess. Learn more at linzess.com or call 1-800-LINZESS. Sponsored by AbbVie and Ironwood Pharmaceuticals.
What's done more to overall health and wellness, modern medicine, or personal hygiene? Actually, it's both. But considering that bathing went mainstream in the 1800s and brushing your teeth in the 1900s, isn't it time for something new, like cleaning your nose? After all, your nose is the body's air filter for trapping dirt and germs, the first line of defense against allergens, bacteria, and viruses from getting into your lungs. But how do you clean your nose? With Navage. Navage isn't medicine, it's more like plumbing. Navage uses powered suction to pull saline in one nostril to the very back of the nose where germs can get trapped and multiply, and then out the other nostril, flushing out mucus and microbes so you better, sleep deeper, snore less, and stay healthier. Join over 2 million others and find out for yourself how refreshing and easy to use Navage is. At Navage.com, Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, Bed Bath, and Target. Navage. Clean nose, healthy life.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
There's never any FOMO with the iHeartRadio app. You won't ever have to miss out on your favorite shows and contests with this radio station again. Radio 24/7, 365. We're here when you want us. Listen anywhere when you download the free iHeartRadio app.
The Saginaw Spirit play here.
In the slot with a shot, it was blocked. Comes back to him, a cross shot, they score! Josh Bloom! And it's 5-3.
Tune in later this afternoon for Saginaw Spirit Hockey. It's a special Monday afternoon contest as the Spirit visit the Windsor Spitfires. You can hear complete coverage beginning at 1:50 p.m. on 100.5 FM. Regular programming will continue on 790 AM.
Saginaw Spirit Hockey is on WSGW. This is a test. WSGW is conducting a test of the emergency alert system. This is only a test. This is a test of the emergency alert system on WSGW. Equipment that can quickly warn you during emergencies is being tested. WSGW serves Saginaw, Bay, and Midland counties, along with the surrounding area. This concludes this test of the emergency alert system on WSGW. GW in the premier kitchen and bath gallery showroom and design center studios.
All right, we're back with you on this President's Day. Thank you for being with us. We'll have open phones for the remainder of the hour. I got a little behind the eight ball. I carried John Delony a little longer than I should have, but he was gracious enough to hang in there. So we'll have to make up a little time here. But it is President's Day. Paul is in Saginaw. So, Paul, let's get started with you. Good morning.
Morning, Art. I really enjoyed your guest there, too.
Thanks.
A little longer. It was really good conversation there. I'm calling in because I read in one of my papers here just a couple of weeks ago. It may have been in process longer. I don't know. You might know that. But during the past decades in China, they've had that one-child policy, and all the other kids were aborted. Now things are so bad in China that the government is paying parents to have 3 kids each to bring the population back up for new workers and soldiers in the future.
Yeah, well, you learn, don't you?
Yep, and this is the resultant product of abortion, contraception, and gay marriage, and it's probably happening right now. But that's one issue. The second issue is I heard that Walmart is forcing employees to take the vaccine, whether they want it or not, by giving them a $150 automatic payroll deduction if they don't want to take it. Have you heard anything about that?
Not a word.
Huh?
Not a word. Haven't heard
Okay.
anything about it. Don't know anything about it.
Third issue is I'll tell you where we're going to get our workers for the local roads. What we're going to do is redirect spending from the colleges to the local roads and hire all these college students to do the work and give them college credit and tuition.
Think that's what's going to happen, huh?
You have a pool of workers, and they're young and strong and ambitious. If you give them college credit, tuition, and some pay, I don't see why they wouldn't do it.
Well, maybe about 1% of them might.
Yeah.
All right.
Those are my 3 issues.
Good
Unless
enough.
you got any comments.
Nope.
All right.
Good enough. Thanks, Paul. Bye-bye now.
All right.
All right. And we will be back with more after these notes.
Annette Glenn pled car insurance costs. She pushed legislation giving drivers more choice, reducing premiums. Coming soon, a $400 refund check per vehicle. Annette Glenn got the job done. Paid for by Annette Glenn for State Senate.
Struggling with CPAP? Now there's Inspire, the only FDA-approved obstructive sleep apnea treatment that works inside the body to treat the root cause of sleep apnea with just the click of a button. No mask, no hose, just sleep. Visit inspiresleep.com to learn more.
Hola, Carla speaking. Carla's roofing company always goes above and beyond.
Yeah, we heard about next week's forecast.
She needs a new foreman to weather a storm of projects.
You mean another full crew before? Hey, can you work Wednesday?
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Instant Match instantly connects you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your sponsored job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Now an important message from Exergen. A critical new FDA study proves that the widely used non-contact thermometers are not accurate and have high probabilities for false negative readings. Eyes and non-contact manufacturers are being irresponsible at a time when accuracy matters most. Accurate temperature measurements are essential. Don't wait. Switch to Exergen because they are accurate and backed by over 100 clinical studies. Be sure, be accurate with Exergen. Learn more at Exergen.com.
Hey guys, there is some important news that all men should take very seriously. Your prostate health. Are you urinating more frequently? Are you waking up at night to urinate? Are you sick and tired of prostate pills that just don't work? Sound familiar? If you are one of the millions of men with prostate problems that are driving you nuts, there is some great news.
Prosthogenics is the all-natural product that beat over 157 other prostate supplements in lab tests and was rated the #1 most powerful prostate. #1 because it works. So why not try some Prosthogenics, and your prostate troubles will be a thing of the past. You'll get a great night's sleep and stop waking up in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom. To get your free bottle of Prosthogenics, call now 800-600-2020. That's 1-800-600-2020. Take advantage of our 90-day money-back guarantee. Call 800-600-2020. Do it now.
RocketGrabPlus.com. This week's deal for the Bearded Axe in Saginaw is sold out. They offer hourly times for axe throwing, ninja stars, and tomahawks. Bearded Axe is a local veteran-owned business. They're located at 4375 Bay Road in Saginaw. And don't forget to keep checking back at RocketGrabPlus.com for more deals.
RocketGrabPlus.com.
Has this ever happened to you? We've got to redo the kitchen, and you break out into a cold sweat?
Well, don't worry. It's a common condition, something we call needless remodeling anxiety, and we've got the cure. Heck, we are the cure. Hi, I'm Tom Kreitler.
And I'm Leslie Segretti. Whether you do it yourself or direct it yourself, we can help you keep your project on track and on budget.
So join us this weekend for the Money Pit Home Improvement Radio Show.
The Money Pit, Saturday mornings at 9 on WSGW.
All right, back with you here on the Art Lewis Show. It's President's Day, as I mentioned. And it always, first of all, I'm not a fan of the holiday. Not because I don't think we should celebrate presidents. I'm not a fan of the holiday because I actually think it takes away from celebrating presidents. It was created because it's another one of those American 3-day holidays. And in the old days, the old days, on the 12th of February, we learned about Abraham Lincoln. On the 22nd of February, we learned about George Washington. Now we don't go to school on either of those days. Or if we go to school on those days, we don't learn about them because we have President's Day, of course. We don't go to school on President's Day, so we don't learn anything about the presidents on President's Day. It has always baffled me. Well, I guess maybe that's a poor term because I understand it. It's not that I'm baffled by it, but it's always kind of ticked me off a little bit that we have to make Monday holidays out of everything and lose the impact of what the holiday is truly about. Great men have served this country, and I say men because there's not yet been a woman, although I do think there will be someday. But great men have served this country, and it can be argued that some not so great men serve this country. There are all kinds of presidential ratings out there from top to bottom. But always around the top 5, you find pretty much the same individuals. And I have my top 5. My top 5 start with Abraham Lincoln and George Washington. And the positions are swappable, 1 and 2. It can be argued both ways that one is more important than the other, or that one had greater influence and impact on the nation than the other. But regardless, Lincoln and Washington top my list. Then as we go down the list, I have chosen 3 others, some of which could be surprising. I have chosen Franklin Delano Roosevelt. He had tremendous impact on this nation. Many of his programs still exist today. And he had to deal with getting into world wars. I have chosen Ronald Reagan because I believe he changed the tone of the nation at a time when it was needed. And the last one may be a surprise. Number 5 on my list is Harry Truman. He had to deal with a war he inherited, put an end to it. Many will argue how he did it, but he did it and moved forward with the nation. I also have a personal family history that endears me to President Truman. So he's on my list. So my list is Lincoln, Washington, Franklin Roosevelt, Ronald Reagan, and Harry Truman. Others will have a different list for different reasons, and they're all valid because we all see it differently. Some would say JFK, John Fitzgerald Kennedy, belongs on that list for the way he handled the Cuban Missile Crisis and the way he expected Americans to do more as Americans for their country. Certainly, he could be included. But these are things to think about on President's Day rather than just think about what the sale is down the block. Because that's what, unfortunately, many people do on these 3-day holidays. They don't remember the holiday, but they remember the sales. The beauty of living in this country, huh? Anyhow, we're going to take a break. Next hour, we're going to start the hour talking to Representative Amos O'Neal. And we will then have some open phones, time permitting. All of that ahead this morning after these notes here on the Art Lewis Show.
It's been a challenging year. Asking for help can be hard, but finding it doesn't have to be. If you need help with your energy and other bills, call 211 or visit mi211.org for access to the help you need.
Inflation just broke a nearly 40-year record thanks to Biden's out-of-control spending, and every second that goes by, you are losing more savings. But you can fight back. Instead of letting Democrats treat your savings like their own piggy bank with trillions spent on their radical far-left agenda, you can protect what you've earned by converting your IRA or 401k into gold with Birch Gold Group. Hi, this is Stephen K. Bennett, and I'm one of Birch Gold's many happy customers. To learn how to set up your own gold IRA, get a free 20-page info kit when you text the word SHELTER 9898. Gold-backed IRAs make it simple to ensure your savings will be there when you need it in a tax-sheltered account. No matter what happens in Washington, D.C., text SHELTER to 989898 right now to get your free info kit on gold IRAs. There is nothing to buy, no obligation at all. Text SHELTER 989898. Take action. Do it today.
This view was worth a hike.
Right? And it's a good way to stay on top.
I'm Cologuard, a prescription colon cancer screening option for people 45 plus at average risk. Have you screened for colon cancer?
Not yet.
Don't wait. It's more treatable when caught in early stages.
Tell me more.
Cologuard is non-invasive and it's used at home. It detects altered DNA in your stool to find 92% of colon cancers.
92%?
Yep, even those in early stages.
This was seen in a clinical study with patients 50 and older. Any positive result should be followed by a diagnostic colonoscopy. False positive and negative results may occur. Cologuard is not a replacement for colonoscopy in high-risk patients. Do not use if you have had adenomas, have inflammatory bowel disease, and or a personal or family history of colon cancer.
Most insured patients pay $0. Ask your provider or an online prescriber if Cologuard is right for you, or visit Cologuard.com.
I'm in.
God, I'm so stressed. It's a brand new year and our business is busier than ever. What is that? Meditation?
I'm recommending the Ooma cloud phone system with auto attendant and more than 35 features.
Ooma?
Yep. Switching to Ooma is a cinch. Starts at $19.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees.
Ooma.
Now you're feeling it. Visit Ooma.com. That's OOMA.com to learn more. Ooma. For the smarter business.
That'll do it for this hour of the Art Lewis Show. We'll be back next hour after the news with Representative Amos O'Neal. We will talk to you then.
From the Premier Kitchen and Bath Gallery Studios, WSGW, Saginaw, Bay City, Midland, WSGW-FM, Carlton.
This is CBS News on the Hour, presented by Indeed.com.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez. Russian President Vladimir Putin convened an emergency meeting of his Security Council today amid rising tensions with the West over a possible Russian invasion of new report out of one of that country's separatist regions. Pentagon correspondent Cami McCormick. Russia claims it's killed 5 of what it calls saboteurs who breached the country's southwest border from Ukraine. Kyiv calls the claims fake news. The U.S. and its allies have been worried Moscow would create a border incident as a pretext to attack Ukraine. In the meantime, Russian President Putin has told his Security Council to consider an appeal from separatist leaders in eastern Ukraine to recognize them as independent. CBS's Margaret Brennan asked Ukraine's ambassador to the U.S., Oksana Markarova, Kremlin has created a hit list of Ukrainians and other activists it will target if Russia invades.
Whatever crimes they are willing to commit in order to kill some of us, it will not stop others and it will not help their cause.
Queen Elizabeth is in isolation after she tested positive for COVID, but it's not keeping her from meeting with Prime Minister Johnson virtually today. CBS's Vicky Barker from London. Palace aides confirm the 95-year-old monarch is experiencing what they're calling mild cold-like symptoms after testing positive for COVID-19. They say she intends to carry on with light duties this week. Closing arguments are beginning this morning in Brunswick, Georgia, in the federal hate crimes trial of 3 white men. Jogger, Ahmaud Arbery. If they're convicted, father and son Gregory and Travis McMichael, along with their neighbor William Bryan, could be sentenced to up to life in prison on top of life sentences they've already received in state court. Some people in the South may be getting a huge tax break soon. Here's CBS's Jim Krasula.
Mississippi lawmakers are debating whether to phase out the state's income tax. Supporters say it would give people more money, while opponents say it's a terrible idea and would mean even less money for schools, healthcare, and infrastructure. The Mississippi income tax accounts for 1/3 of state revenue.
Australia has begun welcoming fully vaccinated again today. Among them, American Lauren Potter, who touched down in Sydney.
As soon as I opened up the borders, I just knew I could finally come and see my family and attend my brother's wedding, like on March 4th. So that's what I'm really excited about, to have the whole family together again.
Tourists were showered with gifts, including Tim Tams, cookies, jars of Vegemite, and stuffed koala bears. Markets are closed this President's Day, so are most schools and banks, and your mail won't be delivered. This is CBS News.
Find your next great hire with Indeed. Our hiring platform makes it easy to attract, screen, and interview candidates all in the same place. Visit Indeed.
We're proud to make Pioneer Sugar for you and your family. Proud to be found in your kitchen, the heart of your home. And it doesn't really matter what you make with Pioneer Sugar, whether it's with our granulated white, light brown, or soft confectioners. It's the memories you'll make using it that will matter the most. Pioneer Sugar, pure and all natural, made from sugar beets grown right here. What could be sweeter than that?
Exergen would like you to know about an important study just released by the FDA. It confirms what the medical community has known all along: non-contact thermometry. The study also reports that they fail to meet FDA requirements for accuracy in labeling. We can't afford to tolerate the rampant false temperature readings from non-contact thermometers. Accurate temperature measurements are essential. You need Exergen thermometers because they are accurate and backed by over 100 clinical studies. Be sure, be accurate with Exergen. Learn more at Exergen.com.
Water stains on the shower glass. Try rubbing some shaving cream on them.
Tyler's cleaning crew knows every housekeeping trick in the book.
Handling timesheets now.
But they need a proper bookkeeper to keep finances tidy.
New equipment is a business expense, right?
Indeed can help them hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Only connects you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your sponsored job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Do you owe the IRS $10,000 or more in back taxes? Are you being audited or investigated? Has the IRS sent you a letter demanding payment? You may not owe what they claim. Make this free call to the tax doctor now. Let them negotiate with the IRS on your behalf. Call 800-631-9123. 800-631-9123. That's 800-631-9123.
Live from the 100.5 and 790 newsroom, this is WSGW News.
Cloudy skies and 31 degrees at 10:05. Good morning, I'm Mike Percha. Saginaw City Council is voting tonight on a combined $3.2 million set of contracts aimed at repairing roads in Saginaw and on when the projects would begin if approved, but the agreements with MDOT will look to make repairs to the Genesee Avenue Bridge, West Holland Avenue from Woodbridge Street to Hamilton Street, and East Remington from Water Street to Washington Avenue. Of the $3.2 million, $316,000 will be going toward the Genesee Avenue Bridge, with the rest being split into segments for pavement repairs, storm sewer updates, concrete, curb, and gutter repairs, sidewalk and sidewalk ramp additions or updates, and more. Bay City will be voting on a way to prevent any conflicts of interest while allocating ARPA funds. Here's WSGW's Rick Antonio.
Commission President Chris Gerard will allow commissioners to clear the air on any current or future allocation requests. The city does already have a conflict of interest prevention policy, but Gerard says adding a specification for the ARPA allocation process could help prevent squabbles like other surrounding communities are having. Any commissioner who may have any vested interest in an allocation discussion or proposal, regardless of their financial involvement, will be required to abstain from handling that case. The policy was tabled at the commission's last gathering for a fine-tuning of language. Rick Antonio, News Radio 100.5 and 790.
Saginaw County Courthouse is resuming in-person hearings now that COVID-19 numbers are in decline. Starting today, individual judges and parties involved in each case can choose to hold in building. According to the Saginaw County Health Department, COVID numbers have been on a downward trend for the past 3 weeks, with 559 cases per million and a 9.7 positivity rate. Judges may still also continue to hold hearings virtually if they aren't comfortable returning to the courtroom. WSGW News Time, 10:07.
Since 1956, Crane's L&M Appliance Center has been selling the best appliances to fit every budget.
We interrupt to bring you breaking news from Crane's.
Any minute now, they're expecting a truck to arrive with more inventory, and then there will be a sale.
A sale on what?
Could be washers, dryers, dishwashers, refrigerators, freezers. Just get here to find out what the sale will actually be on.
So, Crane's L&M Appliance Center is having a big sale, but they don't know on what yet.
And remember, manufacturer rebates as well.
Come see Kelly, Eric, and Kelsey at Crane's L&M Appliance Center, 3260 Bay Road in Saginaw.
RocketGrabPlus.com. Why would you pay full price when you know that you can save money at RocketGrabPlus.com? Check out our deals going on right now from 120 Fitness, Uplift Creative Center, the Salt Room and Wellness Spa, Joyce's Purple Palette, Woody's Hot Dogs, Wonder Burger, King's Fish and More, and the Hamptons Boutique Tanning and Salon. Half off? Yeah, it's true. And it's all at RocketGrabPlus.com.
RocketGrabPlus.com.
WSGW News Time. This is coming up. More than 6 out of 10 business owners are raising prices, a jump of nearly 5% over the past 30 days. That's the highest level since 1974. Prices are rising the most in retail and construction, but prices are trending higher across the board on anything that has to be manufactured, which is most of what we buy. The National Federation of Independent Businesses says higher costs for materials is fewer sales, and fewer available workers and higher labor costs are all adding pressure on many of the stores where we shop. Pieces from the Apollo Models of the lunar rover and Sputnik are all part of a new exhibit on display at the Henry Ford Museum in Dearborn. The exhibit, titled Apollo, When We Went to the Moon, includes more than 100 objects and artifacts that exhibit's manager Kate Moreland says appeals to everyone.
It's appealing because I think people have this natural fascination for going off planet. Those who are into sci-fi are always watching shows about that. I love sci-fi and imagining the what ifs of space travel. But it also speaks to what humans can do when they set their mind to it and when they set their resources to it.
So from the U.S. Space and Rocket Center, the exhibit will be at Henry Ford through May 8th. Special programs tied to the exhibit start next month. There's been some minor flooding in West Michigan due to ice jams and melting snow. There's an ice jam in the Grand River near Robinson Township, west of Grand Rapids. There's flood warning for the Grand River there until 6:15 this evening. There's also been minor flooding in Comstock Park along the Grand River and a flood warning there until Wednesday morning. WSGW News Time, 10:10. I'm Mike Percha.
Here's your WSGW weatherology forecast. A winter weather advisory evening. We'll see mostly cloudy skies here for today, with temperatures holding rather steady. Northeast winds of 5 to 15 miles per hour. Then for tonight, a chance for some freezing rain, then changing to rain showers. Cloudy skies, temperatures fall early, then slowly rise overnight. Tuesday, good chance for rain, cloudy skies, a high 43 degrees. Then by Wednesday, partial sunshine develops. We'll see high around 24. Thursday, cloudy, high 25 degrees. Then by Friday, mostly cloudy, high around 23. I'm meteorologist Jennifer Wojcicki with the WSGW weatherology forecast. Currently, it's 30.
Now, the show offering you the chance to ask your questions and express your opinions from around your block to around the world. The Art Lewis Show is on 100.5 and 790 WSGW and online, WSGW.com.
And welcome back. Hour number 2 of the Art Lewis Show from my Saginaw Spirit Home studio, brought to you by Linda Shepard at Pinnacle Realty, 989-295-7713, the number to call to get Linda working for you for all of your residential and commercial real estate needs. She's located at the Point, M46 and M47, where you can also stop into Cafe 476 and some of their delicious soups and sandwiches and beverages waiting for you there. We're going to spend the first part of this hour talking to State Representative Amos O'Neal, particularly about a voter ID petition being circulated. And we say good morning to the representative. Amos, good morning to you.
Good morning, Art. How are you, sir?
We're doing well, thanks. The 2 black cowboy hats are here, folks. We both wear black cowboy hats. I have a picture.
That's right.
I have a treasured picture of that.
Yeah.
So I have to ask, Amos, you have now become a leading vocal opponent of this voter ID petition being circulated to change voter laws. It's called the Secure Michigan Vote petition. Let's talk about the objections first, about the basic petition itself.
Okay. Yeah, well, basically, back in the 2018, 2020, first 2018, the voting of our constituents said they wanted to have a free and fair election, and they wanted to be able to vote without harassment, voter ID signing, voter ID. That's a standard process. Show your ID, they verify you, and you get your ballot. We had early voting during that day. We had same-day registration during that day. So some of the premises of the petition, it really strikes against all of those items that we voted for in 2018. And then it goes against the very fabric of our ability to have free and fair elections in terms of access. Particularly in urban communities, you have folks who who have drop boxes. You have opportunity to register on the same day. You have special events where folks, we had some special events where folks would vote on Sunday. You had folks that were ability to do the absentee ballots without a lot of major issues. And so just the very fabric of that democracy and access, you know, you would think, Art, and I think you're a reasonable person, you would think when you have an opportunity to show that folks voted in 2020 at the highest level in the state of Michigan, I tell you, you want to impede that or create impediments or barriers. We didn't have any major outstanding claims or verifications of voting fraud. We had so many various checks and balances where folks said, you know, we're going to go through and investigate this. And the last investigation was conducted by Senator McBroom, a state senator in Lansing. And he came back saying that there were no signs of voting fraud. And so, you know, so we've gone through all this, Art. And so what's the purpose of this? When you have no legitimate outstanding claims after all the audits and all the investigations to say, oh, we have voting fraud. But that's total opposite. So, you can surmise, you know, your own summation. But if there was voting fraud, then I would understand this. But there was no voting fraud. I'm a reasonable guy. If we had outstanding voting fraud activities, then I would say, sure, let's do all of the above to make sure that we have a secure and fair process for our electors to vote and not have the implications of or the perception of fraud, right? So that's my view of that in terms of the facts.
Let me ask about a couple of specifics, Amos. If I go to a polling place to vote, I have to give them my driver's license or photo ID.
Yes.
Should people getting an absentee ballot also be required to have some form of legitimate ID that can be verified?
Mm-hmm. Well, when you do your app request, okay, so let's start here. So there are a lot of people, senior citizens, military, who have signed up for absentee ballot. They come automatically. Unlike the pandemic era where due to us not being able to get out and things like that, in order to facilitate folks getting access, you have to get the application, fill out the application, send it back in, and then at the clerk's office, your registration, everything are checked and balanced and identified before that actually comes back to you. And so, when you do the absentee ballot and you send it back, there's still some checks and balances that occur there. So even though investigation on that as well, and found very little discrepancies in terms of absentee ballots. There were, people passed on and things like that, and the address change don't happen. Those things were weeded out and appropriately. And so, yeah, that's the process, Art.
So let me ask this, Amos. The Secretary of State last election sent absentee ballot applications to everybody. Was that proper?
Everybody that was registered to vote, I believe. I think that was during the time of the pandemic. I think that was appropriate action because you're giving the person the opportunity to fill out that application, and then after they send the application in, then absentee ballots are mailed back to you. They're not initially mailed out. You said send out an absentee ballot. No.
No, I didn't. No, I said application.
Okay, yeah, you're right. You're correct. Everyone got an application. Now, if you didn't fill out that application, you wouldn't receive an absentee ballot.
Just, I understand it during the pandemic. A lot of people were homebound, couldn't get out, what have you. It just seemed to me that it was circumventing a system that worked well, because if you wanted an absentee ballot, you requested one, and you got one. This whole voter ID thing has become a political football of gigantic proportions, and it's really a shame. And this probably started in large form in the 2016 election, and it has progressed to be this giant slayer all of a sudden, where it seemed to me prior to 2016 our election laws worked pretty well, didn't they?
Yes, I agree with that.
And I just I don't see the need on either side to make this such a huge issue that it is. And I think there's been a lot of misinformation on both sides as to why it's happening and why it's needed. And it's been, I will tell you one thing I do not want to see. I do not want to see Congress pass any kind of voting law which takes away the ability of the states to control their elections. I don't think it should be federalized, and the Constitution agrees with me. What would you say?
Well, I agree with that premise. However, whenever there's a situation where, and states should have control, I agree with that. But whenever there's a situation where, as you said, there's been a lot of misinformation, there's been a big football that's been kicked down the road, and it's been blown out of proportion in so many ways, then at that time, history has shown that, and then that federal government have stepped in when the states can't, get on this situation. You take the voting rights, you take civil rights. Those were times when the federal government had to step in. And so now with this situation with our voting, like you said, in 2016, the system was solid. 2020, people voted in high numbers, unlike before. And after all the investigations, it was proven, as I said, by our Senator Groom, the last person that I know conducted that thorough investigation. He came out and he took a lot of heat for that too, for saying what he said. But he ruled on the side of right. So I have a lot of respect for the senator for doing that. And so when you have a situation where you can't, get things right, then there is an opportunity for the feds to come in and help assist with that. Something that's important as our very fabric of our country, our nation, the democratic process. Right now, we are at the crust, at the precipice of losing that democracy that we all hold so sacred.
How so?
Well, because you have a lot of disenfranchised people, whether it's on that voter fraud or not looking at the truth. And you said, if you have an election, then you have folks who are going to question it from now on and delegitimize, just the sacred act of voting. That's scary. That's scary when you have people that are duly elected and the process that we have in place has worked. And then folks, for whatever reason say, he or she didn't win because. And, you get that rhetoric going around, and what you have just a sort of a minimization of the sacred right to vote, and then you water down the efficiency and the sovereignty of the casting and vote.
Yeah, well, I will point out both sides were guilty of it. In 2016, the Democrats refused to accept the fact that Trump was elected, and in 2020, Trump refused to accept the fact that Biden was elected. Anyway, I got to take a quick break. Hang on, Amos. We'll come back and talk more about it. We're talking to Representative Amos O'Neal. here on the Art Lewis Show on WSGW. We will be back right after these notes.
Annette Glenn shares the values of families in mid-Michigan. American Conservative Union ranked Annette's voting record 6th most conservative in the state house. We need Annette fighting for families in the state Senate. Paid for by Annette Glenn for state Senate.
Your nose is the body's air filter, the first line of defense against airborne allergens, bacteria, and viruses. You wash your hands to protect your health. Now you can clean your nose with Navage. Online at Navage.com. Navage, clean nose, healthy life.
Would you like a cleaning product that can be used in the garage, the laundry, and the kitchen, and save space in your cabinet? Hi, I'm Bruce Fabrizio, inventor of Simple Green. To learn more, visit us at simplegreen.com.
That dinner was delicious. What's next?
I'm thinking just the check.
Do you frequently diarrhea, stomach pain, or loose oily stools after eating? One or more of these symptoms could be a sign of exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI, and it may be time to talk to your doctor.
If you have EPI, Creon may be right for you. Creon, pancrelipase that treats EPI. Creon replaces enzymes you may be missing to help you break down food properly.
Creon may increase your chance of fibrosing colonopathy, a rare bowel disorder. Do not chew capsules or contents, as this may cause mouth irritation. Tell your doctor if you have unusual or severe stomach pain, bloating, trouble passing stool, nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, worsening of painful swollen joints, or allergic reactions. Other side effects may include changes in blood or sore throat and cough. These are not all the side effects of Creon.
Talk to your doctor about Creon, the #1 prescribed EPI treatment, and visit GOCREON.com or call 1-800-633-9110.
I'm Neil Cavuto, and this is the Fox Business Report.
Major footwear companies are causing pain for several cool independent retailers. They say that Nike and other global sneaker brands have delayed deliveries of key shoe designs as the industry continues to deal with production and shipping crunches from the pandemic. Sneaker Stuff, a small chain with stores in Europe and the U.S., is facing delays on Nike orders. Nike maintains relationships with mainstream retailers like Nordstrom and Dick's Sporting Goods, but also uses small-scale boutiques to introduce highly desirable designs that customers line up to buy. And it's not just Nike. Under Armour is also experiencing supply chain issues like longer than usual transit times and higher freight costs. Unexpected lags in deliveries not only affect shops, but is also causing major problems for them to predict monthly revenue decisions. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Hillary Barsky, invested in you.
Inflation just broke a nearly 40-year record thanks to Biden's out-of-control spending, and every second you are losing more of your hard-earned savings. But you can fight back. With a gold IRA from Birch Gold, you can protect your retirement from this outright theft. Hi, this is Stephen K. Bannon, and I'm one of the Birch Gold's many happy customers. To learn how to set up your own gold IRA, text the word SHELTER to 989898. Do it now, today. 989898. Inflation just broke a nearly 40-year record thanks to Biden's out-of-control spending, and every second that goes by, you are losing more and more of your hard-earned savings. But you can fight back. Instead of letting Democrats treat your savings like their own piggy bank with trillions spent on their radical far-left agenda, you can protect what you've earned IRA or 401k into gold with Birch Gold Group. And I'm one of Birch Gold's many happy customers. To learn how to set up your own gold IRA, get a free 20-page info kit when you text the word SHELTER to 989898. Gold-backed IRAs make it simple to ensure your savings will be there when you need it in a tax-sheltered account. No matter what happens in Washington, D.C., text SHELTER to 989898 right now to get your free info kit on gold IRAs. There is nothing to buy, no obligation at all. Text SHELTER 989898. Take action. Do it today.
Wants to know, are you an influencer? A big live streamer? No? Then guess what? You don't need an endless data plan. Get just the right amount of data with TracFone's $40 unlimited talk and text smartphone plan. Now with 8 gigs of high-speed data in unlimited carryover on America's largest, most dependable network, now with 5G. At the price you want, TracFone Wireless, now you're in control. Available at major retailers, 5G compatible device required, actual availability, coverage, and speed may vary. See terms and conditions at TracFone.com.
you can hear about the cultural contributions and concerns of the Hispanic community in the Great Lakes Bay region on one of WSGW's new public affairs programs. Arte, publisher of Mi Gente magazine, and I'm inviting you to join us for Mi Gente on air Sunday evenings at 8 p.m.
All right, we're back with you here on WSGW. My guest is Representative Amos O'Neal from the 95th District. And Amos, let's we'll finish up talking about this voter thing, because I know that you have objected to the way the petitioners have petitioned members of the minority community. You and I think Terry Pruitt also expressed some concerns about it. Tell us your concerns.
Yeah, that was really interesting. But you mentioned we left off on 2016.
Yeah.
How you said that the Democrats didn't accept President Trump, and then 2020.
Trump.
Yeah. So, but listen, let me just pull this out here. We have to agree to disagree and be respectful about it.
Right.
But in 2016, we didn't have. So first of all, that's something to be mindful of. Now you just think the city council, the county court house, the state house, is it right for anybody, doesn't matter who you are, to go into the city council, the county board of commissioners, or the state house in Lansing because you disagree with something and just out and risk and put people at risk and have the intent to hurt and harm somebody because you disagree with them?
Yeah, no, absolutely not.
That's not right. And I know you would say that, but in 2016 we didn't have a capital federal capital outlast of disagreement with that sentiment. So I think that was a turning point. There are a lot of folks who are going to jail for the January 6th episode.
Well, let's put it this way, Amos. 2016, there were objections, but they were handled better. Okay, I agree with that. That's the point I want to make. So you can agree to disagree and handle it and keep moving. So yeah. So go back to your original question about the petition. Yeah, what I encountered personally, barbershop. There was a gentleman who came in pretty close to the same time I did. He had a petition on his clipboard, and he proceeded to ask the folks, particularly the barbers in there, to sign the petition. And this was his request. He said, "Hey guys, I need you guys to sign my petition because this is going to help people vote better." Those were his exact words. I said, okay. So my son-in-law actually cut hair where I go, and I said, I advised. I said, I would advise you to not sign that, and this is why. And so I gave him an explanation. And the actual petition could not articulate the intent of the petition. He didn't really have a good handle on what he was having people sign. So that's, first of all, that was an issue. And so I explained to him why I objected to it and the things that it would do to the community that he's probably lived in terms of disenfranchising and creating additional barriers for you to vote. And he didn't care. He just said, his comments to me were, "Oh, you're messing with my money." So I took that as, "Oh, you're being paid to do this." And some of the sacred in the community, exact words, and I quote him. And in our neighborhoods, these things are happening. And so at that point, I started talking to people and say, "Hey, we really need to reach out to our community and give them the correct information." And after that, people make their own decisions. Yeah. There's no coercion or nothing like that. Just an education program that we started and going in various sectors. Let me
parts of.
Yeah, let me ask you this, Amos, and I don't mean this to be a racial statement, but it almost has to be. If I'm a petition organizer, either side, I don't care what side it is, and I have a petition that I want African Americans to sign, I'm going to do my darndest to make the petitioners, those carrying the petitions, African Americans, because they relate. If it's a Latin community, I'm going to try and find a Latino to do that. And I'm going to find a Caucasian to do it in a Caucasian community. Is that what's happened here? Have the petitioners been African Americans?
You're exactly right, Art. You're exactly right. The individuals I encountered were African American. And, during that time, I engaged in the conversation with the young man, not in intent to get in a combative verbal exchange, but just a fact of educating him. But obviously he took offense because, as he said I was messing with his money. But he's an African-American young man, and an African-American, the barbershop, which, as you know, barbershops are places historically where you go and you meet friends and you have nice conversations about life and just everything, right? And so, that's what happened. And, all of my collaborative partners have had similar experiences, as I just described, in terms of those individuals selected for that purpose and the minority community in particular.
All right, hang on, Amos, if you can, for one more segment. I've got a couple other things I want to talk about. We are talking to Representative Amos O'Neal from the 95th District, and we will do more when we return here on the Art Lewis Show. Let me ask you first how you slept last night, because, in this day and age, we're all asked to do more for less. So when you go to bed and, in theory, you spend a third of your life there, you need quality sleep. You can get it with a quality mattress from Sanitary Mattress. You can visit all the so-called sleep stores, or you can rest assured the mattress you're using is manufactured right here in the Great Lakes Bay region to your specifications. Your dollars are spent and they stay right here in our local economy. Your time in bed may be cut short by today's demanding world, but don't be fooled. You can still get a quality, good night's sleep on a Sanitary Mattress. They feature 1-hour window delivery of your mattress to your home. If you have an RV or a boat, Sanitary Mattress will custom make a mattress for you, something the box stores can't do. Visit the Sanitary Mattress factory and showroom, serving this area since 1935. Set your GPS to 5343 Janes Road in Saginaw, just east of the Harry Brown Airport. Visit them on the web at sanitarymattress.com or give them a call at 989-753-1757. Sanitary Mattress.
This is the time of year when all the talk about who has the top corn hybrids in Michigan goes out the window. This is the time when the performance data and the numbers have the final say. Well, ladies and gentlemen, the numbers are in, and they're saying a whole lot about the yield potential of Dairyland Seed. Once again, Dairyland Seed turned out an impressive performance in Michigan First Trials, highlighted by 5 first-place finishers. To learn more about how Dairyland Seed brings the yield, or to find the corn hybrid best suited to your farm, visit dairylandseed.com or contact your local dealer.
Do you promise to love, honor, and cherish, forsaking all others?
I do.
I do. And now, by the power vested in me, I now go forth.
That's not the vow you took. But if struggles with CPAP have you and your spouse sleeping in separate rooms, it might be time to look into Inspire. Inspire works inside the body with just the click of a remote. That's right, just a button. No mask, no hose, just sleep. Inspire. Sleep apnea innovation.
Talk to your doctor to see if Inspire is right for you. Review important safety information at inspiresleep.com.
You have the chance to win a $500 gas card in the Forward Free Fuel February contest. Find out how. Visit WSGW.com, scroll down the homepage, and click on the Forward Free Fuel February contest box.
Broadcasting from the premier kitchen and bath gallery showroom and design. This is WSGW.
And we're back with you talking to State Representative Amos O'Neal. We've been talking about the voter petition that's going around, the voter ID petition. I want to talk about another thing surrounding voting. This is the year where we have new districts drawn up by the Reapportionment Commission, if you will. What has that done to your district, Amos?
My district has actually been expanded slightly to move a little bit further into the Saginaw Township area. I still have the core base of the city of Saginaw, Buena Vista. I still have a portion of Bridgeport, and there's a slight difference in my configuration, but not major as some of the other reps that I served with, particularly in Detroit and some of those areas. Those are really been some major shifts. And as you know, they had some lawsuits going, and I think the Supreme Court just ruled on one of those, indicating that those lines were, legitimately drawn, and so. But I do know there are other lawsuits coming, actually from the Democrats, for their feeling for the way the lines were drawn.
What's your assessment of the way the commission performed?
Well, I think folks voted for that commission, and giving the time frame, I think the time frame was kind of reduced due to various reasons, and I would have hoped that we'd have had folks who had a little bit more experience in terms of the political arena, in terms of how do you appropriately apportion certain areas, and in terms of communities of interest. I know with the Senate lines, in Midland City for the Senate lines, and so a lot of folks support that, and a lot of folks don't support that, and so you'll have that. But I think for me, looking forward, I think we have to, as representatives, based on what has occurred, we just have to reach out a little further, educate folks of who we are, and give them our platform in terms of what we hope to do in terms of improving not only the state but our districts, and then let the chips fall where they may. Have
you announced for re-election?
I have not announced for re-election.
Will you?
I do plan to. I got a lot of folks asking me about both my current House seat and also the Senate seat. I know a couple of my colleagues have already announced, but I just want to make the best decision possible. I'm right now in my career. This is my first term, and just historically, I've always worked my way up, the rung of the ladder. Not trying to skip a rung, meaning, creating an opportunity where I can learn everything I can. That will empower me to be a better elected official representative. And so I'm really just contemplating right now, and I've had several meetings with a lot of key stakeholders, and still have a couple more before I finalize my decision.
I've never been a political manager, but if I were managing your campaign, I would tell you times are fleeting.
Say that one more time.
I said if I were managing your campaign, I would tell you times are fleeting. You don't have a lot of time.
Oh yeah, I understand that. I do. But again, I just want to be thoughtful and make the best decision for not only the constituents,
so
for my future in terms.
Let me ask you, Amos. You've been in politics and served in a variety of elected capacities. Were there any surprises when you got to Lansing, or was it what you expected?
Well, it was sort of what I expected, but Lansing is a larger playing field in terms of the budget, in terms of all the lobbyists that are working for their clients, and so you have to be able to manage that space and also manage the space of gathering and finding the right information and being responsive in terms of time, because it's like a fast moving escalator And if you're not aware of, the side pull-offs, you can really just kind of get taken for a ride for real. And so I think my experience, as you indicated, really has prepared me to navigate that fluid and positive way. And so for that, I credit, just kind of learning the ropes, city, county, and then those experiences that I've had with MML, National League of Cities, and a lot of those conglomerate in terms of groups have really assisted me in my learning curve as well.
Well, good. Then I assume that when you're ready to announce, you will call me and say, let's do a show.
I will. I will do that. I will. Yes.
All right, my friend. Look, I thank you for your time this morning and spending this time with us.
My pleasure, Art, always.
All right. We'll talk to you soon. Have a good day.
All right. Have a great day.
Bye-bye now. Representative Amos O'Neal, 95th District. And as he indicated, the district has changed a little with the redrawing of the lines. He does pick up some of Saginaw Township in that area, but retains much of what he has now in the city of Saginaw and parts of Bridgeport, etc. It's going to be interesting to see the various campaigns that come forth with the new districts. It's going to be really interesting. We'll take a pause and then we'll have open phones for the remainder of the hour. So if there's something you'd like to chat about, by all means, give us a call.
Great Lakes Bay Health Centers would like to remind you that building a defense against COVID-19 will take all of us. That's why we're proud to offer not only COVID testing, but also free COVID vaccines at multiple locations. Visit GreatLakesBayHealthCenters.org for comprehensive information on locations and times. The pandemic will end is with us. So let's all do our part to stay healthy and get vaccinated. Please remember to continue following safety measures to keep yourself, your family, and our community safe. Together, we can finally end COVID-19.
Hey, Jim! Thanks for coming.
Are you kidding? I never miss one of your dinner parties. How's the new job?
We're growing fast, and I stopped working weekends thanks to how much smoother everything runs on NetSuite by Oracle.
Fantastic. We're still using QuickBooks.
NetSuite.
We're making QuickBooks work, sort of.
Shh, watch your language. The kids are right there. Sorry, Amy. NetSuite gives you visibility and control of your financials, inventory, HR, planning, budgeting, and more. NetSuite is everything you need to grow, all in one place. And 93% of surveyed businesses increase their visibility and control since upgrading from QuickBooks to NetSuite.
Yeah, sounds like it's time for me to switch to NetSuite. Over 27,000 businesses already use NetSuite for the new year. Program for those ready to upgrade at netsuite.com/advantage. Head to netsuite.com/advantage for this special one-of-a-kind financing offer on the #1 financial system for growing businesses. netsuite.com/advantage.
Now an important message from Exergen. A critical new FDA study proves that the widely used non-contact thermometers are not accurate and have high probabilities for false negative readings. New COVID strands are on the rise, and non-contact manufacturers are being irresponsible at a time when accuracy matters most. Accurate temperature measurements are essential. Don't wait. They are accurate and backed by over 100 clinical studies. Be sure, be accurate with Exergen. Learn more at exergen.com.
The WSGW Morning Team Show.
WSW online poll, the public school curricular transparency. Republicans in the Michigan House introducing a public school transparency bill. It would require districts to list all curriculum, books, writing assignments, planned field trips for the public before the start of a school year. Now, supporters say among things that this bill would do is ensure that critical race theory is not taught in Michigan schools. Right now, it is taught at the university level, but the CRT is not taught at the K-12 level in Michigan schools. And if schools would fail to release curriculums, districts would be risking up to the loss of 5% of yearly state funding. Opponents are saying this information to parents, and this bill could lead to things maybe like censoring of curriculum or even teacher intimidation. We want to know what you think. Would you support a public school curriculum transparency bill for Michigan? It's yes, it's no, it's I'm not sure. You tell us what you think by going to WSW.com. You scroll down the homepage, find the poll box, and you vote that way.
The Morning Team Show, weekdays 5:30 to 9 on WSGW.
All right, we're back. And in a few minutes left, open phones if you have something you want to chat about. But I want to talk just for a minute about basketball. Now, I'm not a basketball aficionado. I'm not a basketball fan. I don't watch basketball. I relate more to games that I've been able to play in my life. I've never been able to play basketball. It was always too short, and I don't know, maybe just not coordinated enough. But it's never been a game that interested me. Yesterday, post game between Michigan and Wisconsin, Michigan's basketball coach, Juwan Howard, tried to physically attack the Wisconsin coach. He did hit one of the assistants. And what led up to it was, I guess, questionable in terms of basketball and unwritten rules and all of those things, but certainly did not rise to the level of getting physical. And I think Juwan Howard would tell you that too. I think the chances are, after the Big Ten reassesses and looks at it, that he's probably, and I heard Pat Johnston speculate about this morning, probably going to be suspended for the rest of the year. And hey, listen, you do the crime, you do the time. That's the way it goes. I don't know enough about basketball to know about all the unwritten rules, or whether they should have called a timeout, whether Michigan should have pressed. I look at it two ways. The first side is the Michigan side, where they pressed after a basket. They're already down, 13, 15 points, and the clock shows 15 seconds or whatever it is. But I understand that. As a team, you don't give up, even though you know you're going to lose. I don't see pressing as an objectionable method at that time. And so Wisconsin, in the process, called a timeout. Now, they're already assured the win. Nothing's going to change that. Why the timeout? And then Michigan fouled a player on the inbound, probably in retaliation for the timeout. One thing led to another. Look, in sports, there are always tactical disagreements. I don't care what the game is. One coach is going to look at another coach's tactics as being something that offends his team. And maybe there'll be words, but it should never come to blows. So no matter what the reason that Juwan Howard felt the need to express himself, it should not have been with his fist. Now, there was CBS coverage of it showed that, the one coach put his hand on Howard to stop him. Howard put his hand on the other coach to stop him and backed away and then took a big swing. Is this the lesson you want college students to learn? I don't think so. As a leader, I do think you have to stand up for your team. And you have to let it be known that you think it was unjust for something to happen against your team at a certain time. It's part of being a coach. But I think you have to do it in a way that doesn't incense violence. I just, I was appalled when I saw it. And again, I don't watch basketball. Not because of that. I just never played the game, never appreciated the game as many do. I've tried a few times. I'm just not coordinated enough. I don't play well. So, and I have to tell you, I was more interested in other sports. I was more interested in baseball because I played baseball. Tennis because I played tennis. Hockey because my father would take me to Madison Square Garden to hockey games all the time. So I began to appreciate hockey, and it is still on the top of my list today. But I don't care what the sport is. There is no place for the kind of violence exhibited by Juwan Howard. He may be a great coach, and I think he is a great coach. But he's going to suffer the penalties. And I think Pat is absolutely right that he will probably be out for the season. Time will tell. The Big Ten will take a look at it. I wouldn't be surprised if the NCAA didn't take a look at it too, not just the Big Ten. And I think there's going to be some heck to pay, I think, as there should be. All right. What else is happening? Oh, well, it's President's Day. I just wanted to remind you of that. I mentioned my top 5 before, that being Lincoln, Washington, FBR, Reagan, and Truman. But there are other things going on in the world right now. The world is fixated on Russia and the Ukraine. There apparently is now an agreement for Biden and Putin to get together, have a meeting, even if it's virtual. As Biden says, if the invasion hasn't happened. There is already some border fighting going on. Many leaders in the world have suggested that Russia will stage some type of incident to justify invading the Ukraine. And if that's true, it could be happening at the eastern border. Not the eastern border, but the other border where the Russians are built up. Time will tell. Let's hope it doesn't get to that, because it could draw the world into a situation that I don't think the world wants to be involved in. So let's say a little prayer that it works out for the better. We will come back and close out after these notes.
RocketGrabPlus.com. This week's deal for the Bearded Axe in Saginaw is sold out. They offer hourly times for axe throwing, ninja stars, and tomahawks. Bearded Axe is a local veteran-owned business. They're located at 4375 Bay Road in Saginaw. And don't forget to keep checking back at RocketGrabPlus.com for more deals.
RocketGrabPlus.com. What's done more to improve overall health and wellness? Modern medicine or personal hygiene? Actually, it's both. But considering that bathing went hundreds and brushing your teeth in the 1900s, isn't it time for something new, like cleaning your nose? After all, your nose is the body's air filter for trapping dirt and germs, the first line of defense against allergens, bacteria, and viruses from getting into your lungs. But how do you clean your nose? With Navage. Navage isn't medicine, it's more like plumbing. Navage uses powered suction to pull saline in one nostril to the very back of the nose where germs can get trapped and multiply, and then out the other nostril, flushing out mucus and microbes so you can breathe better, sleep deeper, snore less, and stay healthier. Join over yourself how refreshing and easy to use Navage is. At Navage.com, Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, Bed Bath, and Target. Navage. Clean nose, healthy life.
Hola, Carla speaking. Carla's roofing company always goes above and beyond.
Yeah, we heard about next week's forecast.
She needs a new foreman to weather a storm of projects.
You mean another full crew before Wednesday? Mira, Jose, can you work Wednesday?
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Match instantly connects you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your sponsored job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job.
Inflation just broke a nearly 40-year record thanks to Biden's out-of-control spending, and every second that goes by, you are losing more and more of your hard-earned savings. But you can fight back. Instead of letting Democrats treat your savings like their own piggy bank with trillions spent on their radical far-left agenda, you can protect what you've earned by converting your IRA or 401k into gold with Birch Gold Group. Hi, this is Stephen K. Bennett, and I'm one of Birch Gold's many happy customers. To learn how to set up your own gold IRA, get a free 20-page info kit when you text the word SHELTER 9898. Gold-backed IRAs make it simple to ensure your savings will be there when you need it in a tax-sheltered account. No matter what happens in Washington, D.C., text SHELTER to 989898 right now to get your free info kit on gold IRAs. There is nothing to buy, no obligation at all. Text SHELTER 989898. Take action. Do it today.
Hello, Michigan. I'm John Gonzalez.
And I'm Amy Sherman. We've got big news.
We're back! And you can join us Sundays at 1 p.m. as we once again go behind the mitten.
We'll take you to every corner of the state, sharing the stories that make Michigan great.
Or a new favorite spot that might be located right in your hometown.
We'll go above the bridge and taste our way across the state.
Join us Sundays at 1 p.m. right here on 100.5 and 790 News Radio, WSGW.
All right, that's going to wrap it up for the Art Lewis Show today. We thank our various guests we had this morning, and we thank you for joining us. Of course, tomorrow we will be at the Bean and Beat Expo at the Doubletree in Bay City doing live reports. We'll talk to you then. Stick around now for the news from CBS and, of course, the local report for you. Then we'll be back with Focus today. We're going to focus on Rocket Grab Plus, tell you about the great deals available. We'll talk to you right after the news.
From the Premier Kitchen and Bath Gallery Studios, WSGW, Saginaw, Bay City, Midland, WSGW-FM, Carlton.
This is CBS News on the Hour, your home for original reporting.
I'm Steve Kaith, and Russia's President Vladimir Putin says his country could recognize breakaway regions in eastern Ukraine, and a decision on that could be made today. The U.S. and other countries have previously warned that might be a prelude to an all-out invasion. National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan on CBS Mornings.
We have seen before how a small war in Europe don't stand up in strong and resolute terms to defend our allies and partners.
Britain's Defense Minister Ben Wallace has told Parliament in the last 48 hours there has been an increase in Russian troops, and 65% of Moscow's land combat power is now along Ukraine's borders.
These are not the actions of the Russian government fulfilling its repeated declarations that it has no intention of invading Ukraine.
CBS's Cammie McCormick says there are still some diplomatic rays of light.
Despite tensions increasing on the ground with shelling in eastern Ukraine and Russian claims Ukrainians are stepping up attacks, which Kyiv denies, plans are in the works for both a meeting between Secretary of State Blinken and his counterpart Biden and Russian President Putin. Both meetings would hinge on whether Russia has invaded Ukraine.
In Cairo, setting the stage for a global climate summit in November, U.S. Envoy John Kerry acknowledged the Ukraine crisis.
That does not change the reality of what is happening every day with respect to our climate. That is a national, international security threat.
COVID outbreak in the House of Windsor. CBS's Vicki Barker has the latest on 95-year-old Queen Elizabeth.
The Queen has been living in lockdown almost entirely at Windsor Castle all through the pandemic, but it appears a number of staffers there have now tested positive. Palace officials 95-year-old monarch has only mild symptoms.
Here at home, closing arguments today in the federal hate crimes trial of the three men convicted of murdering Ahmaud Arbery in Georgia. CBS's Janet Shamlian.
This case is all about motive, and it hinges on whether the three defendants pursued Ahmaud Arbery and killed him because of racist views. They need to prove intent in the moment.
A third former cop has taken the stand in Minneapolis today now in the federal civil rights trial stemming from George Floyd's killing. A group of football player agents is threatening to boycott the upcoming NFL scouting combine in Indianapolis over concerns that a COVID bubble keeping the players from personal trainers and nutritionists as they show off their talent for pro execs ahead of the NFL draft. This is CBS News.
There's always something new under the sun. CBS Mornings, weekdays on CBS.
Do you promise to love, honor, and cherish, forsaking all others?
I do.
I do.
And now, by the power vested in me, I now pronounce you roommates. Go forth.
That's not the vow you took. But if struggles with CPAP have you and your spouse sleeping in separate rooms, it might be time to look into Inspire. Inspire works in Click of a remote. That's right, just a button. No mask, no hose, just sleep. Inspire. Sleep apnea innovation.
Talk to your doctor to see if Inspire is right for you. Review important safety information at inspiresleep.com.
ServiceMaster by Fuson, your fire, water, and storm damage restoration experts. Did you know frozen pipes are one of the most common reasons for pipes bursting in the winter? Reduce your risk of pipes freezing and bursting by letting water drip from faucets. Consider insulating your pipes, secure outdoor hoses, valves, and faucets, and open cabinet doors under sinks near exterior walls. For more information, visit ServiceMasterByFuson.com or call them at 989-200-4929. ServiceMaster by Fuson, restoring peace of mind.
We're sugar for you and your family. Proud to be found in your kitchen, the heart of your home. And it doesn't really matter what you make with Pioneer Sugar, whether it's with our granulated white, light brown, or soft confectioners. It's the memories you'll make using it that will matter the most. Pioneer Sugar, pure and all natural, made from sugar beets grown right here. What could
Annette Glenn pledged she'd fight to cut car insurance costs. She pushed legislation giving drivers more choice, reducing premiums. Coming soon, a $400 refund check per vehicle. Annette Glenn got the job done. Paid for by Annette Glenn for State Senate.
Trying to find when and where you can hear the Tigers, Red Wings, Michigan football, and basketball, Saginaw Spirit hockey, and SVSU football on WSGW? Just click on the sports broadcast box on WSGW.com for complete game time listings. That's WSGW.com.
Cloudy skies and 32 degrees at 11:05. Good morning. I'm Mike Percha. Crime Stoppers is offering a $2,500 reward for information leading to the arrest of a suspect or suspects in a 2-year-old homicide case. Deontay Jackson and Bruce Banks were killed February 18, 2020 at a home at 820 in Buena Vista Township. Jackson was discovered dead at the scene while Banks died from his injuries later at a hospital. Police found footprints in the snow heading northeast to 24th Street where police believe the suspect got into a vehicle. Anyone with information about the incident can leave an anonymous tip with Crime Stoppers at 1-800-422-JAIL or on their mobile app. A man who allegedly fired gunshots at Alma police officers last fall will undergo a second psychiatric evaluation before a judge determines whether or not he'll stand trial. The Morning Sun reports all future court appearances for 28-year-old Tyler Moreno of Alma have been canceled and have been received. Moreno, who is being held without bail, faces 18 charges, including 3 attempted murder counts for allegedly firing at 3 Alma police officers in October. During a Friday hearing, a Gratiot County judge granted a motion filed by prosecutors to retain an independent forensic psychologist to evaluate. An owl is recovering at a rehabilitation facility in Isabella County after being struck by a car. The owl was found lying in the snow on the side of the road near the border of Midland and Gladwood counties last week. Volunteers with the Wildlife Recovery Association and Shepherd were able to capture the bird, placing it. The facility reports the owl was badly bruised, but make no mention of broken bones or other injuries. The bird is currently resting with minimal human interaction. WSGW News Time, 11:07.
What's done more to improve overall health and wellness, modern medicine or personal hygiene? Actually, it's both. But considering that bathing went mainstream in the 1800s and 1800s, isn't it time for something new, like cleaning your nose? After all, your nose is the body's air filter for trapping dirt and germs, the first line of defense against allergens, bacteria, and viruses from getting into your lungs. But how do you clean your nose? With Navage. Navage isn't medicine, it's more like plumbing. Navage uses powered suction to pull saline in one nostril to the very back of the nose where germs can get trapped and multiply, and then out the other nostril, flushing out mucus and microbes so you can breathe better, sleep deeper, snore healthier. Join over 2 million others and find out for yourself how refreshing and easy to use Navage is. At Navage.com, Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, Bed Bath, and Target. Navage. Clean nose, healthy life.
WSGW News Time, 11:08. The weather forecast is coming up. Police say a 71-year-old man died early Sunday after a fire swept a home in Chesaning. State troopers were called to the home around Sunday after a caller reported to Saginaw County Dispatch a house was on fire. State police say troopers arrived to find the residence fully engulfed in flames before fire crews arrived. Police say responders later found the man dead in the debris of the home. The man's name was being withheld pending notification of his relatives. We've already seen gas prices in Michigan climb over the past couple months. They've gone up a couple cents per gallon a week to $3.30. Much higher can they go? GasBuddy.com petroleum analyst Patrick DeHaan says you can expect prices to approach $4 per gallon as demand for gas increases in the spring and summer months.
Detroit Metro average today about $3.39 a gallon, so that 25 to 75 cent a gallon increase that we see seasonally could put us right at or above $4 a gallon temporarily. It's certainly not a guarantee. There's a lot of moving parts, not only with Russia, but the potential of a nuclear deal with Iran.
DeHaan doesn't think it will happen, but he doesn't rule out the possibility that prices could hit $5 a gallon if Russia invades Ukraine. A Michigan woman will soon celebrate a milestone birthday. How old? Well, look at her decorative upper arm. Gloria Weberg has a New York 19 left arm, the year and place of her birth. She's turning 100 March 2nd, not a typical age to visit a tattoo artist, but that's what she's done every 10 years since turning 80. Her birth year is under a goddess representing Mother Earth and among 7 stars representing her children. Weberg and her late husband raised their family in the Chicago area and moved to St. Joseph around 30 years ago. Her secret to a long life, staying active, and a regular glass of red wine. WSGW News Time 11:10. I'm Mike Pritchard.
Here's your WSGW weatherology forecast. A winter weather advisory will go into effect here later this evening. We'll see mostly cloudy skies here for today, with temperatures holding rather steady. Northeast winds of 5 to 15 miles per hour. Some freezing rain, then changing to rain showers. Cloudy skies, temperatures fall early, then slowly rise overnight. Tuesday, good chance for rain, cloudy skies, a high 43 degrees. Then by Wednesday, partial sunshine develops, we'll see high around 24. Thursday, cloudy, high 25 degrees. Then by Friday, mostly cloudy, high around 23. I'm meteorologist Jennifer Vuchitsky with the WSGW weatherology forecast. Currently, it's 30.
Now, it's time to focus as WSGW presents the people, the places, the businesses, the culture, the area events and activities, all put into focus on 100.5 and 790 News Radio WSGW and online WSGW.com.
Welcome back. Welcome back to another edition of Focus. I'm Art Lewis from my Saginaw Spirit Home studio. And Focus is brought to you by Roof Max, the safe, proven, and affordable alternative to expensive asphalt shingle roof replacement. Find out about Roof Max online at roofmax.com or call Ben at 989-859-6751. Roof Max, and it's spelled with 2 X's. No guest today on Focus. Instead, we are going to focus on rocketgrabplus.com and tell you about all the things that are available and a couple that are not, which is going to lead to a conversation here in a moment. But first, we're going to encourage you to register at Rocket Grab Plus. Even if you're an old Rocket Grab customer, you should register at Rocket Grab Plus because the original Rocket Grab is no longer active. So if you want all the latest deals put into your inbox so you know when they're there, costs you nothing, you should register today at rocketgrabplus.com. And again, there's no upfront costs. The only time you spend money in Rocket Grab Plus is if you buy something. There's no fee for being a member. Now, what's the importance of getting information quickly? Well, the importance of getting information quickly is that some items sell out quickly. And we have had 2 examples of that in the recent weeks. A Sullivan's food voucher, $20 voucher for $10, sold out in hours, if that. And now, the most recent Rocket Grab Plus deal which was 1 hour of axe throwing for a group of 4 at the Bearded Axe, is sold out. If you had been a Rocket Grab Plus member and you got the email in your inbox and you wanted it, you would have been able to do it immediately. Because to wait is to lose. And it was a great certificate too. I mean, it was 1 hour of axe throwing for a group of 4 for only $40. It's an $80 value. But I'm not going to bore you with everything you missed, but I will tell you that Bearded Axe is a local veteran-owned business, and they offer hourly times for axe throwing, ninja stars, and tomahawks, and they're located at 4375 Bay Road in Saginaw. And you can always call them ahead. You can't get the deal now, but you can call them ahead for availability at 989-327-1014, and you can book time for axe throwing at the Bearded Axe. But again, he who hesitates is lost. So get them and act on them if you want them. All right, so let's move to some that are available. A salt room session for 2 at the Salt Room and Wellness Spa in Saginaw. It's a $90 value, and it is yours for only $45. This will help boost your immune system, and it's 100% antibacterial salt therapy. Each salt therapy session lasts 45 minutes. You can read a book, you can take a nap while relaxing with the calming background music playing in the room. So there you go, the Salt Room. Again, 1 Salt Room session for 2 at the Salt Room. A $90 value for only $45, half price, which is almost the way all the deals are. Some are even better than that. Applied Training Solutions. 4-person private 60-minute firearm virtual training event in Midland at the Midland Mall. It's a $100 value for only $50. Also from Applied Training Solutions, they have a CPL class. And that one, which is a $150 value, is available for $75. So if you've wanted a CPL, you haven't taken the class yet, here is your opportunity to take the class and save some money. So, with that said and done, let us move over to a break, and we will take that break right now and be back with more after these notes. Guys, want to turn it up?
Call Ben today at 859-6751.
Wow.
As a Blue Cross Medicare member, managing your medications from home is simple. With our easy-to-use prescription drug plans, you can get the medicine your doctor prescribes from your local pharmacy or even delivered by mail. For the trusted care you need and want, Blue Cross will be here with 80 years. Blue Cross Blue Shield of Michigan. Confidence comes with every card. To learn more, visit bcbsm.com/senior options.
It's Markley, Van Camp, and Robbins. Weekdays at noon on 100.5 and 790. News Radio WSGW.
All right, apparently unbeknownst to me, we disappeared for a minute. I don't know how much you missed. Well, we are back with you now. And we will tell you that we are reviewing RocketGrabPlus.com and some of the great deals that are available. For example, a monthly membership to 120 Fitness. It's a $32 value for $16. And with this deal, you can get a chance to check out Old Town Saginaw's only gym, located at 118 South Hamilton. 120 Fitness offers you top-of-the-line Vision Fitness and Landis cardio equipment, Body Solid dumbbells, a variety of strength training equipment, on-site personal trainer, fitness classes, lockers, and changing rooms. Again, 1 month, you can try it out. Instead of $32, it only costs you $16. But if you really like it and you really want to save some money, how about a 1-year membership that normally is $318, yours for only $159 to 120 Fitness Club on Hamilton Street in Saginaw. Now, One Up Games and Repairs, a $25 gift certificate for $12.50. One Up Games is a veteran-owned company that offers buy, sell, trade, and repairs of video games, consoles, cell phones, arcade games, and more. 2 locations, one in Saginaw, one in Bay City, and they offer a wide variety of products such as new and used video games, consoles, accessories, board games, and movies. They also repair tablets, game systems, cell phones, computers, and more. $25 certificate for their services only costs you $12.50. Next up, here is a $100 certificate for $50 to Uplift for a party of 4, including 2 adults and 2 youth, for a tie-dyeing session at Uplift Creative Center in either Midland or Bay City. Again, it is a $100 value, and it is yours for only $50. You will find it at rocketgrabplus.com. Uplift Creative Center is a place where you can come in and be creative in so many ways, from learning how to tie-dye, acrylic and resin painting, parties, soap making, crochet, knitting, and so much more. The event host private parties, a unique place to shop for anyone on your gift list, full-service T-shirt printing, embroidery, in a fashion-forward store, creating unique items for your loved ones, school, or business. And again, this is a $100 value for $50 for a party of 4, including 2 adults and 2 youth, for a tie-dye session at Uplift Creative Center in Midland or Bay City. We have quite a number of offers from the Hampton Spa. We have a Hampton Versus Spa Spray Tan, $17.50 value. That is a $35 value for only $17.50. A Hampton's Boutique $20 certificate for only $10. A Hampton's KBL Level 6 Tanner, $33 value for only $16.50. And Hampton's Infrared Sauna, a $15 value for only $7.50. Here is a Salon Blue cut and brow wax. You'll book an appointment with this deal today. Walk-ins are not available. You'll ask for Owen, Emily, Courtney W., or Kayla when scheduling. Salon Blue is a full salon, spa, and boutique. You leave happy and feeling like new. They have a talented and well-trained team. Whether you're a distinguished connoisseur, a walk-in, or somewhere in between, they've got dedicated professionals ready to help. All their service providers are fully licensed through the state of Michigan. And again, this is for a cut and brow wax, $63 value for only $31.50 at Salon Blue. All right, let's see what else we have. Woody's Hot Dogs. Oh, I love this one. 4 hot dogs from Woody's Hot Dogs in Saginaw, a veteran-owned operation. $10 certificate, $5 gets you 4 hot dogs. These are all Michigan-made products. Kogel's, Hamilton Bakery buns, Better Made chips, Faygo, Hossback pickles. They catered. Pizza's coming soon, and they are open from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. for lunch, Monday to Friday, year-round, right down there at the corner of Gratiot and Michigan. Woody's hot dogs, $10 certificate, and it's only $5. And lastly, King's Fish and More, a $20 certificate for $10. At King's Fish and More, they're open Tuesday through Sunday, Sunday from 1 to 7, Tuesday and Wednesday, 12 p.m. to 7 p.m., Thursday, Saturday, 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. And chef-prepared food at low economical prices, delicious soul food available. Some of their specialties include the Eddie King Burger, deep-fried Cajun turkey, smothered turkey, turkey knuckles, southern-raised catfish, tacos, nachos, quesadillas, tamales, Philly steak or cheese, Philly steak or chicken and cheese, bluegill, African whitey, tilapia, cod, jumbo shrimp, and more. And ask about deliveries and catering. King's Fish and More, a $20 certificate. Again, it will only cost you $10. So remember, in order to get these deals, you have to sign up at rocketgrabplus.com. You do it by going to rocketgrabplus.com. That's plus P-L-U-S. Sign up with your basic contact information. That's all. No money changes hands. You don't pay a thing. The only time you spend any money on Rocket Grab Plus is if you want to buy the deals that you're notified of. And you want to be notified of those deals because some of them sell out quickly, as we discovered in the last 2 weeks with Bearded Axe and Sullivan's Restaurant. They were gone within an hour. It's all it took for them to be finished. Don't miss your opportunities. Sign up today. We'll be back to close out this edition of Focus after these notes.
It could be the best years of your life. In retirement, you'll finally get to do what you want to do. But you have to plan for it. Start by tuning into Mindy and Nolan McIntosh of McIntosh & Associates every Sunday at noon for Wealth Michigan.